Tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. And you know, I'll say that again. Folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Hello and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. I am Nana Ansah Kwao IV, Chief of the Little Republic of Akwemu Edumasa, and I say thank God it's Monday. Another wonderful opportunity to meet up and perform one of radio's most important rituals. A very unique ritual, one that grabs your attention with light humor, in-depth discussion, storytelling, entertainment, and above all, education. Folks, sometimes we agree, other times we disagree, but our strength as opinionators is that no matter how sensitive the topic is, we always are discerning. Welcome to the ritual I call That's My Opinion, only on Joy 99.7 FM every Monday at this time. Set your alarm clocks, set your reminders. Now let us all gather and make truth good. Our topic today: if Diogo de Azambuja arrived in Ghana. If Diogo de Azambuja arrived in Ghana today, folks, today I have so much to say on this matter, but I also don't want to sound condescending. So you know what I'll do? I will set the tone, I'll set the pace so we can all pitch in with our thoughts, because one of those subjects where I know you probably have more to say than I have. Judy, I'll pitch it, I'll set the ideas, and then we all flow with it. Folks, it's always good when we are able to look within with honesty. It doesn't matter whether you're an individual, your company, your school, a country, a continent, whatever it is. Once upon a time or sometimes you need to just pause, look within with absolute honesty and mark yourself. So if I take you all the way back, 20th of January 1482, Diogo de Azambuja and his sailors came to our shores. Folks, history says that at the time between the Ancobra and the Volta, they found so much gold that they called it the mine. Simply means, they called it mina, simply meaning the mine. Many years later, it was that the English adopted the name and called it the Gold Coast. 475 years later, after fighting and struggling and pushing and shoving and writing and depositions, we called it Ghana. It was supposed to be our new hope, our new light, our new vision. We were on our own and we're going to do things even better. We called it Ghana. Folks, again, history is replete with lots of stories of resistance. Lots of stories of resistance where our forebears fought and fought to protect what we have today. Our heritage, our land rights, our self-governance, our dignity. It did not come on a silver platter. Individually, at separate times, one way or the other, they were all fighting to make sure that whatever it is that they had did not go away. And fighting they did. The general opinion of the early Europeans who came into contact with us was that the people they found here were one of the most forthright people they've ever seen anywhere. They knew not to kill. They knew not to insult. They knew how to live neighborly, highly respectable, obeyed law and order. Their kings and chiefs ruled them, with fairness and just. They knew God and worshipped well. They, in short, were good people. They were people you could describe as good people. They had values that were envious by all standards. Go through all out history, documents and letters about the people that they came across here. They were shocked because they were expecting to meet savages, people drinking blood and bones through their nose and straw skirts and eating people. But no, those were not the people they found. They were honest people that lived in communities that had structures, that had rituals and cultures that were to die for. They had chieftaincy governance system that were so organized and structured they could not believe. And so at the time they just thought, something, let's just leave things as they are and practice what we call indirect rule. Let their structures operate and we just rule indirectly. And constantly they kept reminding us that, listen, your values and your systems have nothing wrong with it. And so don't change it. That aspect is a story for another day. But folks, if today Diogo de Azambuja arrived back at the shores, if he came back to the shores, what report would he go back and tell the Portuguese king? Assuming he came back and he went, and the king of Portugal says, Senor, what happened? Folks, what report will he take back to the king of Portugal? In fact, what name will he even suggest for us? One thing is for certain, folks. One thing is for certain. He will be impressed with the religious harmony he will find here. It's remarkable. He won't believe how we are able to live together so seamlessly. He will also be very impressed with the tribal cohesion in spite of the usual digging, the Ewes will dig at the Fantis will dig at the Ashantis, whatever it is. But he will still be impressed how we are able to live, marry, work with each other with ease and love. That he will definitely be impressed. But what will he say about the other aspects of our lives? Assuming he returned to Portugal. Says, my king, I have discovered a land. And I think we shall call it Land of Chocolate Waters. And the king will say, why? He said, well, practically every water I found looked like it mixed with cocoa powder. Folks, he could tell the land of the ignorant, land of the lost. Instead of Gold Coast, now he'll be calling it Polythene Coast, because the amount of polythene bags that will greet him at the shores, he'll just go back and say, look, let's just call it Polythene Coast. And if he's not in a good mood, he could probably go and say defecation shores, because the amount of people he will meet on the shores doing their private business, he will just go back to the king and say, let's just call it defecation shores. Folks, after 66 years, what is our purpose? What is our value? Over 400 years of struggles, 66 years of your old freedom. You make your decisions. You pick and choose. What are we about? Where are we going and for what? If you were to meet somebody, and the sad thing is that after 66 years, you still find people trying to define who even a Ghanaian is. We've gotten freedom for 66 years. And till date, we are unable to find that shared goal, that common goal that rally us together to the point that, we are unable to even define who do we define as a Ghanaian. And once you find a Ghanaian, you ask him, what at all is your shared goal as a Ghanaian? We have chalked some successes, but my God, the damages are just too much. And it is I think it's a miracle that we are blessed beyond reason, to the point that no matter how many mistakes and damage we do, we still hang in there. Folks, what would have killed most countries, what would have finished most countries, we still survive it. We still survive it. And for one reason or the other, all common sense have been shelved, and we have just become a lost, superstitious, ignorant generation. Breeding and breeding and breeding for breeding's sake. And so Diogo will go back and tell the king that I was shocked that the people were sitting on so much wealth, so much gold, so much rich resources and everything, but they were pleading, they were going around the world begging for 3 billion. And the king will say, you are lying. He says, no, it's true. He says, with all the gold they have, they were still begging for 3 billion. Yes, they just wanted 3 billion. Otherwise, the whole nation was going to collapse. And they wouldn't believe it. And you say, yes, that's what's going on there. Folks, after 66 years, maybe there should be a forum, the introspection forum, where we sit down and find out what we have done, what we are doing, and where we are going. Because, you see, the median age in Ghana today, I think, is about 21. That's the median age. That's the most populated age, 21 and basically below. So generally, whatever you see that age doing, that is our future. So that should scare us. Generally, what you see the median age doing, that is the future. And so that should scare us. We have absolutely no reason, we have absolutely no excuse that, with the benefit of hindsight, what is your excuse for failing? With the benefit of hindsight. So you're driving and there's a signboard, caution, roadblock. Another signboard, caution, roadblock 100 meters ahead. If you drive up to the roadblock where the road is actually blocked and you're going to do a U-turn, assuming it's a man and a wife driving, so my wife is sitting in front. He says, don't drive further, there's a roadblock 200 meters ahead. You get to the second one, don't drive further, there's a roadblock 100 meters ahead. Then you get to the roadblock and you turn around. What do you explain? What do you tell your wife? With the benefit, with all the notices that we had, what then do you tell your wife? Didn't you turn Ansah Kwao IV? So with this Ghana month at 66, I don't want us to continue. No. Of course it's good. Of course it's good. But let us bring out the marking scheme this month and start marking. Let's bring the marking sheet out and start marking. And it's not a matter of what this person did or that person did. No. Stand back. Look at the whole borders of what is it today, Ghana, and let us mark. And after marking, ask ourselves, after all the signs, the examples, the blessing of information, the speed of information, the knowledge of how people tried and failed, those who protected, those who sealed off their country and until they build up. After all that knowledge and what we have, blessed with on top peace, because some people have even developed without peace. So after all that, after 66 years, we should sit down and ask ourselves, why are we here? We have no religious difficulties. We have no tribal difficulties. We have land. We have rain. People's tornadoes and whirlwinds, we don't have any. People's, earthquakes, we don't have any. Tsunamis, we don't have any. So what would really be an excuse? When I finally do the U-turn, what do I tell my wife? Say, are you saying you didn't see all the warnings on the road? You did not see it? So when I turn round, but in our case, it doesn't even look as though we have turned round. We are still just going the same direction. We're still heading the same direction. And we can go back into history. And it is one of the gifts that the Ghanaian, the Gold Coastan, the African, or we here have, was that spirit of never again. And you go through all history, and our forebearers had that gift of never again. That if they made a mistake once, they made sure they did not live to go through that mistake again. So what has befallen us? That we go through our mistakes, live through our mistakes year in, year out, 66 times. 66 years. You can take every rainy season and its problem, just change the date and whack it in the next newspaper, and you'll be accurate. The rains will come. The areas that were flooding will come. The ministers and the president will come in their luxury cars. The helicopter will fly over, and then the speech will come. Oh, the government will compensate those who... it's almost the same, just year in, year out. And then we get to education. And then it's all about the numbers that went into school. The numbers that went into school. And then you get into employment. It's the numbers that can't get a job that keep increasing to the point that now people see the services as a safe haven. So when the police say we are recruiting, when immigration say they are recruiting, when immigration say they are recruiting, they want probably 200 officers, and there's a queue of about 10,000 young men and women, all wanting the opportunity to become immigration officers. Why? Because it's just a safe haven. And till date, nobody is bold enough to put the brakes on to say, Jack, this clerical education won't lead you anywhere. Head towards more science, more skills, more vocation. That's where the money and the opportunities are. We go all the way back to 1925. And governments should have that record, where Gojisbeck is addressing a National Assembly, and he's concerned that the boys that are coming out of school because of their clerical education background could not find employment. And because of their perception of skills, jobs, all that's going to happen is that they are going to get more and more unemployed. 1925. We are in 2023. Gojisbeck could resurrect, come back, pick the same speech he delivered in 1925 and deliver it, and nothing will be out of place. 66 years, folks. So if we are doing Ghana month, yes, we'll do a bit of Agbaja, we'll do a bit of Boma, we'll do a bit of Kete, no problem. But let us mark ourselves. Let us mark ourselves. Today you have to speak. Makamidi Kakra 0302216541 0302-216-541. Nana, God bless you for the thought-provoking opinion this evening. This is Ray in Toronto. Good evening, Honorable Jeff in Jerusalem here. We missed you last week. I missed you guys too. Maxwell Oduwatri representing from Ebru Ekwiapem. Another way, good evening. Well, hello, who's talking and what are you marking us for?
Good evening, and I hope you are doing well.
I'm very well, Ajiman Joseph.
Yeah, Nana, one thing I like about your program is you don't chastise, you don't play game. But you just throw everything on all of us because we are all guilty of ourselves. You say, let us mark ourselves. You didn't say that the authorities or the politicians.
No.
But say
Us.
So I think each and every one of us has a role to play to make Ghana a very good Ghana. And you keep on talking about 66 years. That the typical age is just a number issue. When you talk about mismanagement of our economy and other natural resources, I mean, those in the government will take their share. But indiscipline, like dirtying our environment, people do their chores and cook at their chore bars, pouring them in the gutters, thinking that the rain will fall, the water should take them away, and littering around and other indiscipline. It goes to everyone. So I think, as we say we are celebrating Ghana Month, we are all guilty of whatever drawing us back. That Ghana doesn't look their age. God bless you for throwing it on each and every one, thinking about how best we should raise Ghana so that we are not saying that we are aging, but we will say that we are improving. God bless you, Nana.
God bless you too, my brother. 0302216541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Yeah, hello, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is William. I have listened to your presentation, and you see, and immediately I have picked one of the scripts to tell you about now.
Oops, William, did I lose you?
As I am, as we speak now, the same script that you talked about is playing back at Sintes to airport, through to Legon, and to Mungwa and its enclaves. Power outage. That is what I have seen as one of the old scripts being replayed, and nothing changes. Thank you very much.
Thank you too for calling. 0302216541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Nana, this is David. Good evening.
David, let me hear you.
Nana, you see, it's very sad. Nana, I ask myself so many times, what is wrong with Ghana? Nana, you see some countries, especially in the Middle East, you check their land size, compare it to Ghana, compare the resources they have and what we have, and Nana, you cry. In terms of development, we are nowhere near them. The difference is leadership. Someone will say that some of those countries, they don't practice democracy as we do. Vote for a leader. They have one leader staying in power for a long time, so it's like there are benefits of consistency. But that is wrong. Even in Africa, we've seen some countries that have developed or they've had some changes within a short time, within a certain regime. Our leaders over the years have failed us. And how do we explain to the future generation that Ghana, upon all the resources that we had to go to IMF time after time? It's a shame. It's a big shame. And sometimes why we need to blame leadership is that human beings are naturally lawless. So it takes enforcement of laws for people to fall in line. Me and Mijinahi, do you think if you force any of us, if you tell any of us that you are going to pay your salary, take it and deduct your taxes, go and pay to the government, how many people do you think will pay their taxes? Berkeley, to not even have a handful. But when there are laws enforcing and people getting punished for it, people will learn. So in the absence of enforcement of laws, where people commit crimes and get away with it, now there is no way we will develop. I'll leave you here. Thank you.
There must be consequences, he says. 0302-216-541. Hello, who's talking to me?
My name is David. Nana.
David, let me hear you.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
And let me say Happy New Year. This is the first time I'm getting you this year.
Very good, my brother.
Okay, Nana, one very first thing is that I would like not her to say it, but let me say it. You know what I say about your hometown, the name again.
The Dumasa.
You say a little of coffee. No. This is actually say that.
The Little Republic.
The place you come from.
Yeah, the Little Republic of Dumasa.
Little big republic. Anyway, so let's go to the point.
Sure.
My concern is about the plastics here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you cast your mind back years back, when you go in between backyards and you are not wearing very solid sandals, you are afraid of being being hit by a nail, some kind of iron that has been dumped in there or something of that sort. Today, if somebody is dying seriously, at a point they're looking for an iron to save that person's life, they have to go far to get that kind of iron to be able to save the person's life. Why am I saying this? When the the people who are buying these scraps around started moving around, you realize that even when you leave an iron that is very important, you don't protect, they'll take it away. I remember I went to the Minister of Sanitation and Water Resources to be able to bring in a suggestion. And the way they handled me, I was surprised. I saw the minister, the woman sitting far, combing her hair. And just as I was approaching to get to the office, the lady came straight with, what is my problem? What about the girl? So I'm coming to book an appointment to see the minister. He said, what is it about? You know, the way they didn't attend to you, it was bad, so I left the office. But what it is that I want to use this media this evening to say that let us roll up something, because I understand the plastic manufacturers and the pure water sachet manufacturers are putting in there some money, to take care of these things. Now let's look for a bigger site. Then we have vast land lying down there, and then we will start buying this thing. It's okay. A fertilizer sack or a big sack is 200 Ghana cedis when you bring it. 200 Ghana cedis out of the same money that they are putting in there. Now you see the number of people that will start rushing to collect these things to go and collect 200 Ghana cedis. Once the rush is coming that way, the things will begin to reduce. It will get short. You reduce it from 200 Ghana to 250. From 150 it comes to 100. 100 to 200. So you see that because they become scarce, and people now know that there's value for it. When they drink pure water, when they drink ice cream in the plastic bottle, they will keep it, because somebody will come and buy it for maybe like 50 cedis, 100 1 cedi, and gather them and go and make some money.
Thank you very much, my brother. It's 66 years, and we have to come up with a solution to move forward. Hello, who's talking to me?
Good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Okay. So, do you mind me asking, how long have you been working at multimedia?
It's been a while, I think about 2012 or 2013 or something.
Good. The multimedia you see today, is it the same as you started?
Definitely upgraded. You should see our studio today, Charlie.
Good.
So, upgraded.
Did it upgrade by itself, or it was because there were proper people putting in leadership, and through that they understood the evolvement of what they are running, and through time they keep evolving, changing when they have to change, doing away with what they have to do away with, and holding on to what they have to hold on to. Is that not how multimedia became multimedia today?
You're right.
Exactly. That is our problem, Nana. That is all our problem. We've had a wrong transitioning from here to the next stage. And that is our problem. And it's mostly based on leadership. All the employees of multimedia, you have a time you have to come to work, right? Mm-hmm. There was a time I was listening, and on the morning show at Adom FM, and they even said that the owner of the company is there, that early morning. Proper leadership.
Thank you very much. This one says, thinking through and around this topic, I have no doubt that our present crop of managers would have surrounded all the wealth of Ghana, including the golden stool to the colonial masters. Ghana was civilized and organized before these Westerners came. My lecturer and project work supervisor, Dr. Pino Akotia of the Information Studies Department of the University of Ghana, said in one of our classes that Nkrumah had a great master plan for the country. Well, at the back of lies, Ghanaians threw out what would have saved us. 66 years, I am just imagining myself at that age. I may probably have committed suicide on the 6th of March 2023. The disgrace keeps on piling up. We haven't decided to make it intentional to cause a change to become a better, clean, organized, united and honorable people. Anthony McCosby. Hello, and who's talking to me?
Hello, Nana. This is Samuel from Hill.
Samuel, let me hear you.
Yes, I think last week they celebrated the independence in Hill, right?
Yes.
The road on which the president passed is now dark. Just 1 week ago, the street lights are all off. So I don't know whether they just did the street lights purposely for that program. You see? And we are celebrating independence, and we are even still in the month, and all these things are happening. You see? It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot.
It's a whole lot, and it's a whole lot. 66 years. As Makosby saying that if the whites were to come today, just say, the things that our people or managers today would have given to them, but back then they were fighting, resisting, men, women alike. Said no, we have to leave it for the children who are yet unborn. So what at all happened to us? Hello, who's talking to me?
Nana, this is Abusa Jackson, Cape Coast.
Let me hear you, my brother.
Yeah, Nana, for me, I would say it is the leadership. Because we say leadership by example.
Mm-hmm.
You can't live with your children in your house and tell your children that you can't throw rubber around. You have to put the rubber in the dustbin. And you yourself, you'll be throwing rubber around and your children will be seeing, and you would rather be telling your children that they should not do that. So me, I would say it's our leadership. And we are forgetting something. We have to teach our children the value of life. The necessary thing. Not sending them to church and go and make noise that we are praying to God to help us. God already help everybody. That's why He created us and give us the brain to think. We have to think. Nana, I know that you stay in UK before. Do you see how their leadership behave? Whenever they bring any policy and the policy says nobody force them to resign, they resign themselves. So we have to leadership. We are watching them. Whatever they are doing, everybody is watching them. You see the country now, everybody want to get money because they know that when you get money, you can break all the law in this country. So leadership by example.
Thank you very much. Leadership is cause and the rest is the effect. Hello, who's talking to me?
Evelyn talking to you. Evelyn from Dome. Good evening, Nana.
Good evening, Evelyn. Let me hear you.
Yes, yes. I would like to commend you for the good show that you are having. This is my very first time I'm commenting on this show.
But you've listened before.
No, this is actually my first time.
Hey, Evelyn.
Yes. Interestingly, yes.
I've been here since 2013. Oh.
Yes.
You're not listening. Evelyn, let me hear you.
Nana?
Yes.
I cite this a lot of the callers which are talking about leadership because leadership is everything. Okay. Leadership actually sets the goal for the people. So if you look at our current status now, we are not going anywhere. Where are we going? What is the goal? What do we even want to achieve as a nation? There is nothing. So everybody is just walking about without any direction. And so that is our major problem. Because if we set our goal that by this year we want to achieve this, and we are serious about it, and every leader that comes is serious about it, then we can achieve it. But if every individual has their own personal goals, and so we have to change it every now and then eventually we are just wasting our lives, wasting our resources. You understand? And that's how come after 66 years of independence, we are still where we are. And it is so sad. It is so sad. When we were looking for a word to call this country, I was like, there is a defecation. No, it's that simple. Shit, coast.
Thank you very much. How did we get here? With all the experiences and the exposure, how do we go so far back? From a people who were supposed to be savages, for want of a better words. Some people say they were savages. And yet they were described as honest, upright, no not to insult, no not to steal, lived in clean communities, So how did we go so far back that dishonesty has become the name of the game, lies is the name of the game, shortcut is the name of the game, kill me quick is the name of the game? How did we arrive here in such state of confusion? And clearly, I don't know if there's somebody out there who can call and say, Nana, this is the direction of Ghana that we are all going. I don't know. You thank God that it's morning. We thank God that it's morning. But like Evelyn said, what is the goal? What's the timeline? So that we all know when we wake up in the morning, we know that this is where we are aiming, where we are going to head. So even if I'm old and I can't do it, I know I can tell my children, look, start preparing yourself towards this journey. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
This is Lawrence calling from Osu.
Lawrence, let me hear you.
There's been something bothering my mind for some time now. Every year we celebrate Independence Day. Mm-hmm. And it's becoming a norm, which is good. But it seems we are not living our lives to be independent, but rather we keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing to an extent that those we are trying to be independent from are controlling us. So most of the time I ask myself, are we living up to the saying independence, or we are just having the name as independence, but rather living to still serve those people? Nana, thank you.
Thank you very much. Last Monday, I think sometimes anything that God does is better, because if I had done a show last Monday, maybe I wouldn't have gotten home before Kendapa. I would have just, sent his boys to arrest me. Folks, 2.3 million children in Ghana today don't have a table and chair to sit on to learn. 2.3 million. So how then do we justify the same day move machinery, men, and the same children who have no table and chair to go and march? But just sometimes we dream and see. And I'm just assuming that the president came also to Brofu. Say, look, the budget for the Independence Day is XY. And so I am providing maybe 800,000 table and chairs as to go and march in the sun. People are collapsing. They are standing in the sun and collapsing, right? Now, if the president said, look, I've given 800,000 chairs and tables from the budget that would have been used for the marching. Now, I'm appealing to church, every church, at least give me 200. every Joy FM, every radio station, muncha me 10. Obia chair, table and chair. I am sure by now would have been near about 2.1 million tables and chairs for children, where people would just be rallying and giving a child a table and chair to sit on and write. So after 66 years, yes, by all means, we must celebrate Ghana. Personally, one of my worries is, why just 1 month in a year? You are Ghanaian a month in a year. The other 11 months, who are you? We should take it all the way through. All the way through, because we are too far behind. And so after 66 years, Joe, we need to really do a proper introspection, because it's really, I don't want to use any words here. But Jack, I'm not even talking about 50% of schools don't even have toilets. My own Esyoja. And I said, I started the school. Imperial Home started it. It's beautiful. My aim is to build the most beautiful basic education hub. I started, the thing was too big, I couldn't complete. Some NGOs came in through the council. We finished the thing beautifully. You know what they said? Oh, Esyoja, it is in our policy that you see school, you see toilet. And so what? Somebody is now giving you the money. Huge money. I've already started it. So what? How can you call me? Catch me say you see school, you see toilet. And then they took portions of my school to buy tables and chairs. I called them from the tables and chairs. They tell me, oh no, the school was delaying, and so the table and chair was in the rain. So now my children are without tables and chair, and yet 6 March they have to march. After 66 years, they are saying, yes, it's a young economy, it's a young country, but Charlie, table and chair, how young do you have to be to buy a table and chair? How young does a country have to be to buy a table and chair for a child to sit on? Teacher na makras at least So Ghana month by all means, but we have to honestly mark ourselves. Honestly, we have to sit down and put the paper down and mark and find out, say, did we fail? Did we pass? Are we average? Yeko ana yeba. Ghana at 67, we are going to pick another region. By that time, the table and chair population would have gone up. 3 million, considering the growth of the population. Even if we buy about 500,000 chairs today, with the population growth, by the time we get to next year, we'll be hovering about maybe 2.8 million, and then we'll pick another region. And when the Volta region, the culture, the display, it was so beautiful. The chiefs coming and the language, the Ewe and the English. That is what Ghana is about. That's our strength, the beauty and everything. But if you look back at the foundation, you can't build this mansion on this foundation. The whole nation is decided about the fate of its children today. And if 2.3 children don't have a table and chair to sit on, how many doctors, engineers, builders, how many reasonable quality can you make out of 2.3 million children who don't have table and chair? I don't know what the science is, but how many would you get to come and contribute to the nation rather than become a burden on the nation? In the meantime, I want to say thank you very much to Bishop Samuel Mensah and Reverend Mrs. Samuel Mensah, I suppose, at the Full Gospel International Church in Dansoman. They had the Ghana Day at church yesterday, Sunday. And so I was the guest speaker. So I had to stand behind the pulpit. So at least for 20 minutes, the enemy was off. But in the meantime, in the between time, the only and first ever and only Kokonte Festival in Ghana will be happening at Easter Monday at the Little Republic. It's not yet the big republic. At the Little Republic of Edumasa, Easter Monday is going to be lit. Absolutely lit. What we're going to have? Massive Kokonte party. And this year, we're going to have Kokonte from other, regions. Usually it's just our Kokonte, but, the Krobos are eating Kokonte, the Ewes are eating Kokonte. So this year we're going to try and invite a couple of people who eat Kokonte, and we are all going to pitch camp. It's just Kokonte, and it's literally free Kokonte. All you have to do is just turn up and eat Kokonte. And Lex is yenye Kokonte meku. And I said, but do you eat Kokonte meku? He says, oh no, but it has to be there. I said, no problem, it will be there. And that's literally Kokonte with pepper, like ground pepper that you eat with your kenke. And they add a little okra, put some fish in there, and you eat it with your Kokonte. So, it's just going to be lit. At the moment, the boys are negotiating for one fat cow that we're going to kill. It's going to be palm soup, peanut soup, light soup. And it's going to be Kokonte on Easter Monday at the Little Republic of Akumu Edumasa. And the guest list and the guest stars will be announced shortly. So stay tuned. Happy birthday, happy 60th birthday to Angel Gani. 60 and looking 16. This is from all your friends, family, and loved ones. Say happy birthday to you on your 60th. May God bless you plenty. Maxwell Agbagba, senior journalist, has lined up. Kofi Hayford has got really soul-searching tunes for us, because we hear Nyamencho Bebo Pa na yedi achichi ye riffs. That's 60. Abeku was on the ones and twos. And as I always say, until the lions have their own historians, tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. I am Nana Ansah Kwao, and if God blesses us, next Monday we'll be back to do this all over again.